making your business competitive in a marketplace that often seems dominated by mega companies. Joe Farmer recently sat down with Michael Bergdahl, author of What I Learned from Sam Walton, How to Compete and Thrive in a Walmart World. Michael shared the strategies he learned from working side by side with Sam Walton. Jill?
Thanks, Jack. To begin our program, first let's take a moment to look at Michael Bergdahl's career and what experiences led him to write a book that's become such a success with business owners and managers. Michael Bergdahl graduated from Penn State with a degree in behavioral science and began his career in the chemical industry in Texas. He then worked for the Frito-Lay division of PepsiCo in the sales organization, consumer packaged goods, and several headquarters staff assignments. Bergdahl's career path took him to Walmart, where, as the director of people for the headquarters, he worked directly with Sam Walton. After Walmart, he participated in 2 successful business turnarounds. First, at the clothing retailer American Eagle Outfitters, and later with Waste Management. It was during his time at American Eagle that he began speaking on the lessons he learned at Walmart. He began writing his first book while at Waste Management. The book was published in 2004 and quickly became an important tool to small business owners. He's considered an authority on Walmart, whose own public relations department has referred Bergdahl to interviewers. Welcome, Michael. You have had quite a journey as you built your career. How did you go from working for these large companies to developing such a successful writing and speaking career?
Well, you know, having had the chance to work with Sam Walton at Walmart, and I worked at PepsiCo also, I had a unique opportunity just to see 2 very large companies and really have a chance to see their best practices. After I left Walmart, I went into business turnaround, and I experienced 2 successful business turnarounds. And what was interesting is I found myself using the practices of Walmart and Sam Walton in these turnarounds, which led me down the path to decide to write a book. And in the process, after writing the book, I found myself with speaking engagements across the U.S. and in some international locations.
Well, your book really captures the culture and philosophy of Sam Walton and Walmart and what made it so successful.
Well, you know, the culture is really what makes the Walton and Walmart engine run. Culture is a very important aspect of Walmart, and Sam would tell you that he would give the associates the credit for the success of the organization. He had a belief that if you take care of your people will take care of the customer, and the business will take care of itself. So Sam Walton spent much of his time working with the associates in the stores, with the store managers out there in the organization, and he literally flipped the organizational pyramid and culturally made the people in the stores the most important people in the organization.
So is that what inspired you to actually write a book about it?
Well, you know, I never intended to write a book. I didn't go there with this idea that I'm an embedded reporter with an intent to write a book about the world's largest company. But what happened was this. I worked for the company. I worked with Sam Walton. I saw the unique leadership perspective that Sam brought to Walmart. And I found myself using the knowledge that I learned from him and from the other Walmart executives in the subsequent turnarounds that I worked in. And so it was really the unique aspects of their leadership that led me down the path to decide to write a book about those experiences.
Tell us more about working with Sam Walton.
Sam was the single most inspirational leader that I had ever met. He was what they call a servant leader. He never asked anybody to do anything that he wasn't willing to do himself. Sam had golden rule values. You know, he was the type of person that was he was a continuous learner. He believed in continuous improvement. And if you were sitting here talking with Sam Walton, you'd find yourself spending most of the time talking, and Sam would sit and listen and take notes. He had a unique ability to make everyone around him feel very, very important, and he would tell you he learned from everybody around him.
How long did it take you to realize that Walmart was really a different company?
You know, Walmart has a Saturday morning meeting every week of the year. And I remember the first time I went to the Saturday morning meeting at 7 o'clock on a Saturday morning. The first thing that Sam did is he walked out to the center of the stage in front of 500 of the top leaders of the headquarters, and he led a Walmart cheer. Now, picture this, it's 7 o'clock on a Saturday morning, and how many companies are willing to have that meeting on Saturday morning, first of all, and secondly, how many of them could get their employees to enthusiastically do a cheer? Well, they did the Walmart cheer, and the associates around me were on their feet, clapping their hands and enthusiastically cheering. And I think it was that moment where it really hit me that this is pretty unusual. I've never seen anything quite like it, and that was really what was my first inkling that this was something really special.
Well, Walmart has had its share of controversy as it's grown through the years. What is Walmart's view of that controversy?
Well, you know, when Sam Walton started the business, he started in rural America. And he flew below the competitive radar for years and years and years. And it wasn't really until they moved into the urban areas with their supercenters that they started to get a lot of competitive flack. And now that the company is the largest company in the world, they have a big target pasted on their back. And rightly so. Big companies have social responsibilities, and people keep an eye on them, and the news media is constantly keeping an eye on Walmart. I think the company would say this: we never had a PR department until recently because we didn't believe that we needed one. They employ 1.6 million employees around the world, and the way they would probably answer the question is this: we have a cross-section of society. We have the good, the bad, and the ugly when it comes to the people that work for the organization. And if only 1% of our employees are problem children, that could be 15,000 or 16,000 people that could potentially cause problems that could get picked up by the media. They would say that it is not our intent to violate any law. It's not our intent to do anything that's contrary to our obligations as a good corporation. And they mean it. And I think that's probably the way they'd answer the question.
Your book primarily deals with the pocket strategy, which stands for price, operations, culture, key items and products, expense control, talent, and service. Can you tell us how you developed the pocket strategy?
Well, when I first started to write the book, I used an outside-in approach to the design. And I thought about the end reader, the retailer, the non-retailer, a manufacturer, or a supplier that might be reading my book. And I was thinking about what can I do to help them to be more successful in a Walmart world. And I know one thing is that you have to find a niche, which then I characterize as a pocket, in order to be successful. And I started to play with the concept of pockets, and I came up with the 7 key strategies and tactics that Walmart uses. And then what I did is I put together some counter strategies that others can use to be successful in a Walmart world.
We begin with P for price in pockets. Is price important, and how important is it in this business?
Well, you know, in any business, pricing is you have to be competitive. But pricing isn't the end all. Unless you're a discounter, you don't need to act like a discounter. And that's one of the things they talk about in retailing. But a lot of people out in business who compete directly with the Walmarts and the Targets of the world try to compete with them directly on the same products at the same prices, which is crazy. They can't. They don't have the economies of scale. But it transcends the retailing industry. No matter what business you're in, you have to have prices that are competitive. You have to assume that your customers are educated and have talked to your competitors and understand. They have a good feel for what is correct pricing. But not everybody wants the lowest price and the lowest quality goods or services. There's a lot of people that are willing to pay a premium for better quality and better service. And so I would coach anybody in any industry: don't focus all of your time, energy, and effort on price. Make sure that you're focusing on the quality of your products and services, and that you are responsive to the needs of your customers. And if you do so, you don't always have to have the lowest price.
Operations is your second point. How do operations differ at Walmart, and how should other businesses approach this?
Well, Walmart has a saying. It's called Hecate, and Hecate is high expectations are the key to everything, and they strive for operational excellence in everything they do. They try to continuously improve every area of their operation. They're continuous learners, and they're constantly looking at the business and trying to reinvent themselves. There's a saying that Woody Hayes, the football coach, the old football coach from Ohio State, once said: "You're either getting better or you're getting worse." And in business, that holds true. You can't stay in one place. If you're trying to maintain status quo, in essence, you're going backwards. You have to constantly work to improve your business, and the trick is you have to figure out ways to get your employees to embrace operational excellence and get your employees to do everything they possibly can to improve the business.
But many companies talk about their unique culture. Why is culture so important to the success of a business?
Well, you know, when you're in a business, you hire employees that come from other businesses. And unless you have a common thread for customer service, for your sales philosophies, for your operations, the people will bring to bear their experiences from other organizations. It's very important to orient new employees to your philosophies on how you do business, because when your customers work with the employees of your company, they need to sense that there's a commonality of how we do things here, and that makes you unique, that makes you different than your competitors. And if I was going to suggest to someone one area that they could focus on more so than any other, is make sure that you have complete consistency of your customer service policies and procedures, and you empower your people at the lowest levels to make decisions on the spot to solve customer-related problems.
Your next strategy is key item or product. How should businesses view this?
Well, you know, with entrepreneurs and small businesses and business owners who have grown a business from scratch, they typically had one compelling idea that made them successful in the first place. And they continue to be successful using that one idea. The one thing I would say about key items is not to focus in a business on just one product or one service. There's a need to diversify, to come up with other streams of income, because there is no guarantee in business that what made you successful in the past will make you successful in the future. And so an owner, an entrepreneur, a business leader has a responsibility to expand the markets, to look at other product lines, to look at other services. And the way that they do that, the way that you do key item and product, is you go outside in, and the answer lies with your customers. Ask your customers what they want and supply to meet their needs.
On the flip side, expenses are something that all companies strive to control. How is Walmart's approach to controlling expenses different from other companies?
Well, I saw it firsthand, and Walmart is fanatical about expense control. Sam and this is a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but cheap is chic at Walmart. People at Walmart worry about the pennies. They worry about the nickels. I still remember that Sam had a belief that you had to use the back side of every sheet of paper. And theoretically, if you do that, you cut your paper costs by 50%. But what was the point of that exercise? He was getting his million associates to all focus on the small things, to worry about the pennies and worry about the nickels. And the key to Walmart's expense control is it's not something that's just talked about at the executive levels and in the management levels. The employees are out there doing everything they can to cut costs. The reason? Profit sharing. The employees believe that there's one area that they control more than any other with respect to improving Walmart's stock price, and that's expenses.
Speaking of those employees, all companies, of course, want a talented staff. What should most companies do when hiring staff members?
Well, you know, one of the mistakes that people make when they're staffing is that they wait until they have an opening to start to find candidates for the open position. The philosophy at Walmart and the philosophy that I live is that every day is draft day. And every leader of every organization needs to be constantly looking out for qualified staff for their organization, because the kinds of people you're trying to recruit don't come along every day. And I call it having back pocket candidates. When an opening occurs, you should already have a selection of 2 or 3 candidates that you can interview, because you've already done some pre-screening weeks or months beforehand.
Your final strategy is service, and of course every one of us appreciates good service. How should a company approach service to their customers?
Well, you know, the first thing you have to do is you have to remember that the customer is the boss. The company needs the customers more than the customers need that business. And what happens in a Walmart world, and in Walmart competition in particular, is many companies, when Walmart comes to town, start to gear up their customer service for really the first time. And when that happens, it's too late. Small business people, merchants, entrepreneurs need to always have been providing knock your socks off customer service. They need to know their customers by name. They need to have a personal relationship with their customers. There's nothing more important to the success formula than servicing your customers. Period.
Does a business have to compete on all the pocket points that you talk about in order to stay competitive?
You know, I think they do. I think that those 7 strategies, price, operations, culture, key item, expenses, talent, and service, each of those has to be balanced in a business to be successful. You can't focus on one to an extreme and leave others aside. You have to work on all of them simultaneously. And the trick is to transfer the knowledge of the business leaders into the minds of the employees that work for the organization, so everybody's focused on those 7 strategies.
Interestingly, some businesses actually do better when Walmart comes to town. Explain why that is.
Well, especially in the rural areas in the past, Walmart would draw a customer base from as far away as 50 miles. And so what would happen is a small town that had would all of a sudden be inundated with traffic from outlying areas, which provided great opportunities for businesses surrounding Walmart to pick up additional business, especially businesses that provide services, businesses that provide repairs, businesses that provide services that Walmart doesn't provide, or products that Walmart doesn't provide. There is no guarantee of being located around Walmart that you'll gather more business, but many businesses in every town where Walmart's opened are highly successful today as a result of Walmart coming into the area.
You made a good point of telling us how important and reminding us how important those customers are. You believe that customers are actually more important than product. Why is that?
Well, it goes back to Sam's beliefs, and Sam and all of the executives of Walmart would go out to visit the stores of Walmart every week of the year, and the reason they did that is they went out to talk to the customers. The decisions for the product that you'll see in a Walmart store didn't come from some people up in Bentonville, Arkansas saying, hey, maybe we should try this or maybe we should try that. What they did is they went out and they talked to customers in the stores around the country and gathered input from customers on what they wanted. The department managers in the stores all over the country are asking customers that walk into their department every day, what would you like to see? What products are missing here in our inventory? What do we have that you don't want? And so that's why I believe that customers equal product. The customers help you make your decisions on the products and services you should be offering in any business.
Target is a great example of a company that competes and thrives in the same category as Walmart. What has Target done to remain competitive?
Well, you know, in the past, companies like Target, companies like Toys R Us, companies that were Home Depot would benchmark their practices against Walmart, and Walmart would do the same. So much of what you see in the Walmart strategy and a lot of what you see in the Target strategy comes from them copying each other's strategies. There is no business more transparent than retail. You can walk in a store, you can see the products, you can see the merchandising, you can see the signage, you can see the visuals. What Target has done, though, is Target has found a unique niche. They've used the pocket strategy, and what they've done is they are targeting customers. They have products that are unique to Target. They have their own Target brands that you can only buy at Target. And I even think the demographics of the customer that goes to Target is a little bit different than the demographics of the customer that goes to Walmart.
Your advice is not just for retail businesses. What can non-retail businesses learn from Walmart?
Well, I think you can learn from the largest company in the world, and Walmart is the largest company. What I think that a small business person should do, or another large business, is walk in the stores and as a business person and think about the entire experience that you're having as you go into the stores. Look at their pricing strategies. If you have any products that you market or sell that are in the stores, make sure you're aware of the products in Walmart. But look at their operations. Look at the kinds of people that they hire that work in a Walmart store. These are average people that work there, and they get above average results. And probably more so than anything, look at their service strategies and the way that they service customers. If a customer walks in that Walmart store, I would say this to others that were trying to understand the philosophy. If a customer brought a golf club back that had been wrapped around a tree, Walmart would immediately give them their money back or give them a new golf club with no questions asked. And those types of service philosophies anyone can learn from.
Well, you have a new book that may be of interest to business owners that's coming out later in the year. What can you tell us about that?
Sam Walton, in his autobiography, wrote about his 10 rules for building a business. And in fact, if you went to visit the Bentonville headquarters of Walmart, those 10 rules are on the wall in the lobby. Unfortunately, Sam never took the time to write the story behind each of the rules. He simply put a list together. I made a decision to flesh out his 10 rules based on my experiences at Walmart, and so I took Sam's 10, the success secrets of Sam Walton is what I'm going to call the book, and I took these 10 rules and I fleshed them out into a chapter for each. And it's interesting, of the 10 rules, 6 of the rules are about the people that work in Walmart, the employees. 1 is about expenses. 1 is about serving your customers. 1 is about swimming upstream or taking risks. And the last and most important is the personal commitment of the leadership of any organization to be successful.
Sounds very interesting. You've given our audience so much to think about. Our time is just about up. Do you have any final comments for our viewers?
Well, you know, if I were going to, I think that you're either getting better or you're getting worse, and I think what you have to do is continuously, every day you go into your business, is say, what can I do to improve my business today, and try to get everyone in the organization doing everything that they possibly can to make your business better.
Mike, thank you so much for sharing your insights with us. I know you've given our audience some great ideas they can use today to keep their businesses competitive.
Thank you.